Another episode of the Cedric Maxwell Podcast. I'm Josue Pavón alongside Cedric Maxwell, getting you guys ready for Thanksgiving dinner. Man,
Screw that, man. Forget about that, all that. Josue is out of Oklahoma and he's back now in Boston.
Yeah,
Mama Sway was as happy as she could be having her baby back, and Josue finally back. And this is the first time you've ever been away from Boston for a couple of months or something in your life, right?
I mean, besides going down the streets of Springfield during my college days, yeah, it's been.
Again, listen to me, Josue. It's the first time you've been away from home, living away from home.
Facts.
Where you couldn't get to your mom in 2 hours.
Right. That's true. I was a long way from home. That's facts for it. I mean, look, Thanksgiving, being back here, I'm at the kitchen table right now. This is where it's gonna go down. Thanksgiving dinner. But of course, before we get into all that stuff, because I know this is your favorite holiday, Max. So we'll get into all your favorite side dishes and what you like to do, how you like to approach Thanksgiving. But first things first, man. Let's talk Celtics. We got Kristaps Porzingis is back. Celtics on a 6-game winning streak, and I gotta get your take on this, man. Before, at some point in this episode, we're gonna talk about the infamous Carmelo Anthony and Kevin Garnett Honey Nut Cheerios interaction, because Melo gave us an update as to what happened there, and I want to hear your take on it because, of course, I'm sure you were down there at Madison Square Garden when that happened. And for all you youngsters out there, we'll give you some context if you don't know what we're talking about. But like I said, Max, Boston Celtics are on a 6-game winning streak. And with Kristaps Porzingis back, man, that was a beating they put down on the Los Angeles Clippers. How good, or how long, I should say, can this streak last, do you think?
I don't know how long it's going to last. This team is playing well. When you get Porzingis coming back, it's a new animal. Everybody talked about Cleveland. You look at this Chicago game, is going to be huge this week because you're talking about if the Celtics want to go to Vegas and play in the in-season tournament, they more than likely need to win that game in Chicago, road game. And then after that game, you could possibly play the Cavaliers. And I think the Cavaliers have only lost one game.
17-1.
So they could be 17-1 or 8, or could be 19-1 by the time you get in their building. And that can be another epic event for the NBA and also for the Celtics. But the Celtics come with another wild card, Josue. That's that 7'3" monster.
That unicorn. That unicorn.
Oh man, he brings what does he bring to the table? Let's go with that. The ability to block shots, shooting the three from the outside, better spacing for Brown and Tatum, because you have to take into account his ability to knock down the three. There were several of those threes that he missed the other day that he probably, once he gets into a rhythm, he will not miss those same shots. Okay. So, with him back and what you see, you also see more animated Jaylen Brown. That's his dude. I mean, as much as Tatum has been his dude, I think, Porzingis is even more of his dude. They call themselves cookies and cream, and I'm not sure what your guys at Ben and Jerry's might have to say about that, but right. but those two guys together, they just seem to be really impactful. And there was one point where Jaylen Brown had a play going towards the rim. Kristaps Porzingis was coming in from the right-hand side, and he threw the ball up. Porzingis caught it in one motion, slammed it in, and Brown was giggling like a little girl who had just got her first Barbie doll. He was so excited about that particular play. And a lot of the people in the building were excited to see Kristaps Porzingis come back in, running well, moving well, and probably it's only going to get better as this season goes on.
And he's ahead of schedule, Max. I mean, we were talking about Christmas. People were talking about maybe mid-December. I mean, to do this before Thanksgiving, I mean, I think it shows just how far along he is in his, process of rehabbing and getting back. And man, like you said, he looked like he fits right in, and he's just going to get better from this point on.
Well, if you think about what he brings to the table and how he's going to give you that much more spacing, I'd say a guy who's playing well. And we might be talking about 6 men of the year than Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard's been unbelievable. From that game-winning, that long-distance 3-point shot that he took against Dallas to essentially seal the deal at halftime in the championship, he's gotten only better and more confident with his shooting, his defense, taking the ball towards the rack. He was more of just a jump shooter. So he's found his niche. And so with him and everything else with this team is health-wise. If this team stays healthy, dare I say, I don't want to see you in Oklahoma City. I don't think I want to see you there. But the Celtics, definitely got a chance of coming out of the East.
Oh, no question. I mean, at this point, I think it's going to be just the question of how good is Cleveland, right? I mean, they haven't shown any signs of slowing down. You wonder how far along they are, but it's still early. It's too early to say, like, just comparing the two.
No, it's not.
After this game, we'll have a better sense.
Right.
After this weekend's game, we'll have a better sense.
After this game, you're going to get a check mark. And it's going to tell them where they're at.
Right.
I mean, their schedule, they obviously they beat all the teams in front of them, but they haven't played a bunch of teams from the West, where the West seems to be imbalanced. A lot of the weaker teams right now are in the East. So you get a chance to see who they'll get a chance to see who they really are against the world champions. And in the last game against Boston pretty much had them in check for most of that game. They did whatever they wanted to do. Cleveland got back in it, had their opportunities, but Boston at one point was ahead by 20 points in that game. So I don't think they're 20 points better than Cleveland. But with Porzingis coming back, how will he impact the situation for this next game? So all you online bettors and all these things that Josue tries to read and all that, you know what? This is going to be a hell of a game. I'm not sure how you're going to approach it, but hell of a game.
No question. With that, Max, let's remind everyone what this episode is powered by Prize Picks. If you haven't signed up already, you have to sign up, because Prize Picks got some really good deals going on, and it makes it super easy for you, for everyone out there who's just trying to put a little action in the middle of watching their game, right? Middle of your entertaining experience of watching the games. It makes it that much more entertaining, and Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least two players, So let's say it's Jason Tatum for more or less than 22 points, or Jaylen Brown in the same regard. It is that simple. Like, for example, Jason Tatum for more than 29 points, Anthony Edwards for more or less 27 points. You got guys like Anthony Davis, let's say, for more or less 12 rebounds. You pick more or less, and it's that simple. So if you haven't already, download the app today, use the code CLNS, and get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. You know what? That's CLNS. Hold on a second, back. That's CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Make sure you download the app as Prize Picks. Run your game.
Yeah, run your game. And I'm not allowed to play, because I'm sure if I was allowed to play, I'd be pissed off. Not the fact that of that, but I'd be like, damn it, you didn't get enough. I needed one more rebound. Right. I'd be on the broadcast. God, Jesus, what the hell? So I understand the betting line, and I've had friends who are doing just this. So, go out and you're gonna support us, you're gonna support them, but you're gonna support yourself.
It's funny, Max. Someone was giving Kevin Durant a hard time because he was putting out somewhat of a promo for guys to go out and do that, and he also got mad at a fan because they were like, "Oh, you didn't get me that final rebound. I needed that assist." And he was like, "Hey, listen, man, I'm not telling people not to play, but don't get mad at us if you don't hit your parlay because I didn't give out an extra assist." Like, I'm with it. Like, he's not saying people, he's not against it, but he's like, don't get mad at us.
Let me tell you what, this Celtic game against Chicago might be one of your best parlays if you want to do that. And the only reason I'll say that is because it is inherent for the Celtics to score as many points as they can, because it's the cumulative effect of, it's arrogance. What is the word called? Arrogant scores, which you're trying to get your scores so many points above the other one. So, for instance, the Celtics score beat Chicago by 15 points, then that goes in the whole formula so far as them going to Vegas. So I think this is a great line to start betting for, guys like Tatum, maybe to stay in the game longer.
Yeah.
Than they normally would because of that. And that's the only thing I'll say about this whole, because I shouldn't try to influence you. But in that particular case, I think this is the one time I think I would pick for all the overs in the games that are coming up.
That's a good point, Max. I feel like this NBA Cup, it continues to just, help everybody out, in one sense, whether it's adding the entertainment value, whether it's, spicing up the games between, two teams that need a particular amount of points. I think it's just getting better and better as we get into it. I mean, obviously it's only the second season, still very young, but it's showing its benefits for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. So like I said earlier, Max, we had, not we, but Carmelo Anthony was on his podcast, 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. He had Iman Shumpert on, and they went down memory lane talking about a particular game against the Boston Celtics where Kevin Garnett's trash talking may have crossed the line. Now, Melo wouldn't get into specifics. However, he did say that the Honey Nut Cheerio line that everyone thinks that Kevin Garnett said or supposedly said about his girlfriend or wife at the time is not true. Okay, that was the beginning of social media and people twisting things around, according to Melo. But I wanted to hear your take on it, man, because he just talked about one line that really got on his nerves and how he just tried to just have a conversation with him. But between security and Celtic security, the security at Madison Square Garden, he couldn't get close to Garnett at all. And that got him even more upset, in post game.
You know what? I love Melo. I really do. But he won't trying to get one line out. And I happened to be the first person down there when he was down by the bus. And this dude was jumping around like he was on crack. Like, what is he doing? I mean, he had this wild look in his eyes. I was like, damn, did he take a shower that bad? He must have just jumped in some sweats and ran down to where the bus was and was waiting. So I am sure if I'm security and I see that look on his face, I am not letting him anywhere near Kevin Garnett. I'm not. Melo, I love you. But that story about you just wanting to get one line in and say something, bro.
You want a conversation. You just want a conversation.
Dude, I was down there looking in your eyes. I was looking in your eyes when you went down there. Somebody was about to get their ass whooped down there. That's what the look I saw. I can tell you anything else, but as a brother who's seen guys before, like ready to crank up, you weren't down there for diplomacy. That wasn't what you were about to say. I mean, you can tell your story and I can tell my story, but I tell you what, the look in your eyes told me exactly where you were at.
What could have triggered that though? Like, better question. Have you ever been in that type of situation? Has a player ever triggered you to the point where you wanted to, and if it did, how far did it go?
Mine only stopped right there on the court. But I remember Mike Woodson telling me a story about Lonnie Shelton. And Lonnie Shelton was this big, intimidating forward who was in the NBA during the 70s and the 80s. And Mike Woodson said, meet me back at the hotel. You know what hotel we're in, because they were the visiting team. And Woody didn't think anything about it at all, until outside the bus at the hotel was Lonnie Shelton looking for me. Wow. So dude, you can talk about the old NBA compared to the new NBA. Nah, the Kobe was the last one that got two-pieced. After that, all you do is go see some pushing and shoving.
Chris Childs,
I'm telling you right now, I was there, and the look that he had on his face at that particular time, there ain't no way.
Iman Shumpert said that. Iman Shumpert said that Melo has a strict routine, post-game routine. He said all that was scrapped that night. Yeah. He went right, no lifting, no, whatever his routine was. He just got dressed and got the heck out that locker room. Everyone's like, this.
All you wanted was a conversation, right? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Dude, I saw you out there that bus and you were bouncing around. I was like, damn, I'm like, And I walked down.
Yeah, the boxing thing going. He was ready to go.
I know he wasn't doing one of these. He wasn't doing that, but he was just bouncing around like he was like a Mexican jumping bean. Like, something about to pop off. And you look, we've all been there before when you see a brother going, oh shit, something. And what do we say? Something about the boy. You look at your boy, man. Yo, man.
Your boy's pacing right now. Yeah,
something about to pop off. What did you think was, when you saw me and your boy Draymond? What did you think? Because you had the camera in your hand. What did you think? Some shit about to pop off.
Nah,
you were like this.
Not physical though. I never thought it would get physical though.
It didn't get physical, but
I'm saying, like, I didn't have that anticipation like it was going to be. It was just
something. But you obviously knew something because something was about to pop off because you were there with your camera. And you were filming the whole thing.
Well, so obviously he ain't gonna go up to you and be like, "Hey, congrats to the Celtics!" Like, you gonna say something?
It wasn't no congrats to the Celtics. The series wasn't over. It's right in the middle of the series.
That's true.
So wasn't that you knew from just the way he was out there early
from game one because
he was out there.
When you and Gary Payne were going.
Yeah, he was out there early. Me and Gary talking, and then all of a sudden you see him, I see him.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to Gary, and he just come over in black. He just come over getting my conversation, and you were there, so if shit about to pop off when you see two brothers or somebody answer. You like, man, your spidey sense is telling you right now, or your Dominican.
Don't even don't play with
your Honduran instincts about to kick off. Going, yo man, you telling your boy, yo man, you're ready. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready for what? And what the brothers say? Some shit going to pop off, man. You don't feel it? You don't feel it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But that takes years of experience into being in those
years of experience.
Yeah.
You've had that years of experience. You've done it before when you see a woman, and you know that look that she gives you, that she might have dated you or been with you before. Then she's looking at you all crazy, going, yo, man, let's get our coats. Let's get the hell out of here.
That's a different vibe. That's a different vibe.
No, it's no different vibe. It's the same vibe when you're going, yo, man, we need to get on up out of here. And your boy said, no, man, we just got our drinks, man. Our drinks just, yo, man, put the drink down. What do you say? Put the drinks down what? Let's go.
Trust me. Let's go. Yeah.
And then when you say, this is the line that brothers go, I'll tell you when we get to the car.
That's enough said. No more questions after that.
No more questions. And that's when, if he a real dude, he going, oh, okay. And he get you in the car, and then he'll ease in real tight to you, going, yo, man, what's up? Man, that. So this whole thing with Melo, love you, bro. But I ain't going down with that one because I was there.
You know what cracked me up, man? He said right when he was about to just give up and you know what? This conversation ain't going to happen today. In comes KG. A bunch of security was not with KG, but just in general, they're already in front of him. And he looks over, he goes, damn, Melo, all that over a basketball game? Man, Melo said he wanted to put hands on his
Yes!
That's what triggered it, I guess. That's what really triggered it.
Come on, man. Come on, he trying to say
that's the most KG line I could just to walk off like.
I just want to
all this over a basketball game.
I just want to have a line with you. I want to talk. Dude, come on.
He invited KG onto his podcast, and hopefully we get that, man, because that would be a funny episode.
That would be hysterical. I would not. That might be the Tyson. Paul battle that that we really wanted to see before. Like, okay, you want to do it? Let's.
I want to hear both sides. Absolutely, that would be better than the Tyson fight. Definitely, just that dialogue between those two.
You know what? I'm gonna try to get KG on with us so we can just ask him that question. That would be interesting to see what the hell him and Paul would say if they really got down to it. So yeah,
right. Give us the truth. Give us the real story. All right, this episode of Cedric Maxwell Podcast is also brought to you by Game Time. All right, download the Game Time app if you haven't. Game Time is your go-to app for any events going on, especially right now being football season, tailgate season, you know, whether college football, whether it's the NFL, and it's the holiday season. All right. People out there who want to take your date out to the theater district, maybe a nice play or something like that. I think the Grinch is coming into town. Game Time is your go-to spot for the best deals around. All right. I'm talking about.
Can I get some from Stop and Shop, or will they help me out there or not?
No, man. No, this is for tickets only, Max. All right. All right. We talk about all-in pricing. You got your seat views, and you got the lowest price guaranteed thanks to Game Time app. Download the Game Time app and take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Use the code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. All right, Max. Thanksgiving. I know you just pulled up to your hometown in North Carolina. How was the commute? Everything good? You just get there today, or how long was
Everything is good, man. I'm actually here in Charlotte. I was in Charlotte. Actually in Raleigh, North Carolina. Drove here to Kinston, and just having family here, man. This is my favorite holiday. You know it. Everybody knows it. It is about the turkey. It's about the dressing. It's about if you want to use the word stuffing, it's about all the desserts that come along with it. Family together. It's just the only one that's close to it to me would be 4th of July. And 4th of July because it's hot. And I'd rather just not have, I'd rather be outside, by the grill, talking noise. But this holiday is Christmas, the holiest day of the year. I understand that. But the happiest day of the year to me happens to be Thanksgiving. And that's why I say happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Anybody you see out, what they say to you, happy Thanksgiving. They don't say Merry. Happy Thanksgiving. And that's why I look at this as like it's the end all to the be all. And the fact that the Boston Celtics aren't playing on Thanksgiving Day or the day before gave me a chance really to come and see my 90-year-old mother, Bessie Maxwell. So it was a good time for me to kind of get away and kind of get myself recharged for this next part of the season, and which is going to be chaotic. And the fact that the Celtics are playing the in-house, the in-tournament game versus Chicago on Friday, and then turn around and play an important game again on Monday in Cleveland. I don't think it gets any better than this on the schedule.
Yeah, it's perfect, man. I'm glad you got that time, got the extra days. Like you said, man, you don't have the game, right before, so you kind of have that extra time to spend it with your family.
Well, let me ask you this then. I
was about to ask you about the stuff in dressing thing.
No, I ain't gonna ask you about no stuff in
dressing. What's the difference?
Let me ask you this. How about them fakers right now? What's going on out there? You've been up on them because that's the team you're covering right now. What's happening with them?
What do you mean? You said the fakers? I'm like, I don't cover them. What you mean?
The fakers out there. And man, did you ever think there was going to be such a colossal bust down in Philadelphia?
No, man. That's a crazy story, especially when you got Paul George trying to calm everyone down and saying that, oh no, we'll turn this thing around. I'm like, yo, you guys are 3-13. What do you mean?
13, and your Christmas Day gift is in Boston versus the Boston Celtics. That's the gift you want. That's the one you want. Is that how you're going to turn your season around right there? So, man, there's some stories in the NBA right now that part of them don't make sense. I tell you what, I love the way Orlando is playing.
Yeah,
kind of surprising me. Maybe
without their MVP, man.
Yeah, maybe Milwaukee starts to play a little bit better.
But they're on the up and up. They're 7-3 in their last 10, so they're on the up and up.
Yeah, but I looked at the game that just happened in Charlotte where Melo Ball dropped 50 on him. And we got to say give our condolences right now to our buddy Grant Williams.
Yeah, man.
We had him on our podcast. Grant Williams out for
the season
with torn ligaments in his knee.
Torn ACL. Yeah, man. Out for the year.
Man, that is, I don't know. I guess
he's on his stride too this season, Max. That's too bad.
Yeah. I think that's the one of the worst injuries you can have as a basketball player. As a football player, you can rehab pretty quick, but your quickness, your lateral movement, and all that stuff is dealing with your leg and to try to come back. Only good thing, it happened early in the season. He's out for the entire season, so he can try to rehab a little slower coming back. He does have a couple of years in this contract, so we'll do that.
Well, we got to get him back on the podcast for sure, man. But yeah, man, get well soon, Grant. Just unfortunately part of the game. But I know we talked about this last episode or a couple episodes ago, Max. But these injuries, man, they're stacking up. At what point does the NBA address this? In what form or way or fashion, I should say? Like, it's not making sense.
How do you address it? I mean, what do you address? Injuries?
Add a week or two. You know how I feel about this.
Injuries are injuries. They're not
going to be much, Max. They play too many games per week. I should say.
Well, look at this. Look at this. When Gordon Hayward got hurt, what game was that?
Game one.
Game one. It just happens.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate, but it happens. I don't think it has anything to do with the schedule, but it just happens. There's not a lot you're going to do about it. I don't think that, by parlaying the games, you try to not play a guy here and all this other stuff. But if injuries happen, if injuries going to happen, it's going to happen.
Yeah. All right, Max. If that's the case, I mean, I just hope things get better next season or whatever the case may be. Because, I mean, I'm not saying that, like, this is going to be – I mean, if this continues to be an ongoing issue, I think there's something that it should be investigated at least by the NBA.
How's your boy Chet Holmgren doing right now?
He's on the mend, see? And then they just lost Casey Wallace, I mean, it's just – I don't know. I just feel like the injuries are stacking up for every team. It's not just, a guy here or a guy there. Yeah, it's also stars as well, but it's just every team right now is dealing with more than a couple, Well, but yeah, he's still a month and a half away probably.
Okay, well, you say all that, and why is LeBron James still playing? And hadn't had a, let me knock on wood, any kind of major injury. And he's older.
He's been ahead of this for years.
He's older than dirt. So how does that happen?
He's been ahead of this.
How you get ahead of an injury?
He's been taking care of his body on a different level the past 10 years, Max.
It doesn't make any difference. Injury is an injury. Like, you think Grant is strong as hell with his legs. Sometimes it's an unfortunate slip. It's a turn. Something happens like that. So I don't think an investigation is going to do any good when it comes to. Now, what I will say is this. I think that players should rest a little bit more during the offseason to heal. I think if there's one thing I would say, dude, put the basketball down, go to the beach with your family, no whole lot of lifting. These guys go 24/7, man. So you lift weights. Pro-ams and working pro-ams, you're playing in tournaments. No. Yeah. When do you get a chance? Look at Tatum's life this year. What happened? What was his break this year? He plays until almost July, then goes right from there to start to gear up to go to the Olympics. Has whatever it was in the Olympics. A couple of weeks later, you're in the Garden trying to get your first, getting your first ring.
Right.
Back in the season.
Oh, the training camp. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, I don't know what it is, the time. I understand what you're saying about players, but injuries are going to happen. They're part of the game.
Right. All right.
I want to ask you one other question, and this is just sports related. Have you ever seen anything like Saquon Barkley, what he did, that jump up in the air move where the guy tried to tackle him? Is that one of the greatest plays we've ever? I don't even know any plays that have ever been like that.
You can't compare it to anything, right?
Anything.
It was like something out of a video game. That's
exactly what it was.
Supposed to be exaggerated. Yeah.
I love that the thing which was just as amazing to me was looking at the reaction of his teammates on the sideline. You can see him in the distance, but then when he jumped up in the air and the guy didn't tackle him, his teammates just jumped. They were like, "Oh my God!" All of them turned around, hold their heads. I say, I don't think I've ever seen anything And I always say sports is so crazy. You might see anything one day, but what's next for a player?
Football or just in general?
Just what does he got? Start flying up in the air? What do you do after that move?
I don't know, Max, but I think the basketball equivalent will be something that's going to happen from Victor Wembanyama. Like some of those like dunks and blocks that we saw last year, like he's going to take it to another. He's going to do one of those like Space Jam type of blocks where like his arm extends over the backboard. I don't know, man. Like that kid's unreal, and he's still growing. Like that's what's crazy about it. He can still grow. Like he's only, you know what I mean? He's in his early 20s, so it's unreal.
Yeah, that's the fact that you're there and you're able OKC a rival. That must be really nice to see that big fella come in and what he's doing. Just something the teams are playing right now. You look at. You still look at a team like Denver a year away from winning the championship, and they don't look like anything like they have during that particular time. So, the season's going, and it's going on. And look,
what do you think of Minnesota? I feel like they've sort of taken a step back. I know it's still
with Randall and they losing to the Celtics the other day. Celtics had them down by 20-something at one point. They came back. They had the chance to win it, but they didn't.
Right, exactly.
In the end of the day, they didn't. So
Nas Reed at the buzzer. Yeah.
And I don't even know if Nas Reed actually got that shot off before. I think it left his fingertips after time had expired.
All right. Well, that's going to do it. This episode of the Cedric Maxwell Podcast. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you for your support, for tuning in, and special thanks. And of course, have a great holiday with your family and friends. Max, I'm glad you're back home with the fam. Tell mom I said what up.
No doubt about it. Me and Josue are saying this to all of you. Hope you have the happiest Thanksgiving, and save one of those turkey legs for me, okay? Because I like the slice and dice and the pie and the cake. For Cedric Maxwell, it's a good 10 pounds coming someplace. So, guys, thank you very much for joining us. And we'll see you a little bit later on the next podcast.
What's going on, everyone? It's Josue Pavón here. If you made it this far, that means you really enjoyed this video. Make sure you follow all of our social media platforms at Celtics CLNS. And, of course, follow us here on YouTube.